we are going to explore the application of theories of learning in a lesson plan I developed for a Year 8 Visual Arts class. This lesson is situated in a co-ed private school located within the inner western suburbs of Sydney, second period on a Tuesday morning of the second week in Term 2. The lesson is part of an introduction to the unit Employing the Line, where students will engage with ICT skills. The lesson is suitable for a Year 8 Visual Arts class because it meets the New South Wales Visual Art Curriculum learning outcomes and the Learn About and Learn To objectives. Throughout this lesson, I aim for my students to achieve the completion of a research task using computers. They are able to collate their answers in a Word document, which they will print and at the end of the lesson submit to the teacher. Let's begin with the introduction to the lesson. Without going into full details of the lesson plan, I will highlight the key areas that address theories, strategies, and pedagogical approaches. The teacher begins the class by establishing positive behaviour management. As the students enter the class by applying operant conditioning, the students are to sit separately at a desk. This creates independent working spaces which can minimise any unwanted behaviour as they are situated in a computer lab. The teacher will then move on to verbally explain the lesson objective to the class. As he or she does so, they are applying Vygotsky's theory of language as a mental tool to shape the lesson and engage the students. The teacher goes on to engage the students in a class discussion on prior learning. This is reflective of Vygotsky's social cognitive theory and the notion of internalization. This teaching strategy engages the students in a collaborative activity whilst allowing the teacher to apply an informal diagnostic assessment of the student's prior knowledge. Students' engagement with ICT begins with the YouTube video that explores the elements of art, line in particular. The resource caters for learning diversity as it engages the class and in particular the spatial learners. Catering for diverse learner needs within this lesson refers to Howard Gardner's learning styles. Let's move on to the central component of the lesson and where the application of theories and strategies are dominant in creating a meaningful and engaging learning experience for the students. Writing the task on the whiteboard is applying Bruner's notion of scaffolding. It enables the students to see what tasks are required of them to be completed successfully and independently within that lesson. The use of a scaffold can be recognized as a form of catering for diverse learners and extrinsic motivation. The students are rewarded with an extrinsic reward of self-efficacy as they eliminate tasks upon completion. Another way that the lesson caters for students' diversity is through the teacher monitoring the students' progress, supporting students through discussion and providing feedback. With Vygotsky's theory of language as a mental tool, the lesson allows the teacher to address any implications that assess the way of catering for diversity and possibly adjusting the scaffold to fit the learning and performance of students. This research task is an informal formative assessment as it allows the teacher to identify what the students have learnt about line in art. It is also an informal synoptic assessment as the teacher is able to address the student's understanding of the curriculum content and assess the student's zone of proximal development. This lesson is student-centered and using Jean Piaget's constructivist theory of cognitive development to produce and promote student higher order thinking. The independent research task reflects aspects of Piaget's stage 4 formal operations stage and the notion that the students have the ability to think abstractly and logically to form a hypothesis. However, this lesson has catered for any limitations associated with constructivist teaching through the catering of diverse learning needs, scaffolding, and language as a mental tool. As the class is about to end, the teacher announces the homework. This homework task is also student-centered and uses a constructivist approach as the students are learning by doing. The use of extrinsic motivation and an extrinsic reward are evident as the students are informed that if their homework is complete, they will be able to begin the next activity. This lesson concludes with the students standing quietly behind their desk before they are rewarded with permission to leave. Operant conditioning as behaviour management is applied within this circumstance to promote student positive behaviour. The lesson plan I developed is effective in creating a meaningful and engaging learning experience, as it addresses the needs of Howard Gardner's diverse learning styles. The lesson applies Vygotsky's social cognitive development theory and language as a mental tool. Teaching strategies applied, such as Bruner's notion of scaffolding, promotes motivation and rewards. Behavior management is addressed using operant conditioning to create a safe learning environment. And the lesson is learner-centered, which reflects elements of Jean Piaget's constructivist theory. ICT, combined with effective teaching strategies and the application of appropriate learning theories, can create a meaningful and engaging learning experience. One way that this can be measured is through calculating how many students are able to complete, print, and submit the research task to the teacher at the end of the lesson.